Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live Q&A. As you can tell, we truly are live here talking to you today. This is the Q&A for undergraduates and postgraduate students. We're so excited to have you here with our team of folks all here from the University of Glasgow. We are delighted that you're here. New students who are going to be joining us this September. We know we've got students tuning in from across the world, so it's so great that you're able to join us today. We'll be live with you for the next hour, so we hope we'll get through as many of your questions as possible, which is why we're jumping straight in. And we'll be able to answer some of your questions in the comments as well. So first of all, I'm going to have us go through our panel and just let us all introduce ourselves. I'm going to jump over to you, Duncan, if you'd like to start off for us.
Yep. Hello, everyone. It's good to be here with you today. My name is Duncan, and I'm the president at Glasgow University Students' Representative Council.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Hi, folks. I kind of launched in there earlier, but my name is Michaela. I'm a community support officer here at the University of Glasgow. I work in student and academic services, supporting the student experience and helping make sure everybody feels a part of the University of Glasgow community. Nishka, if you want to come in.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Nishka. I'm a third year immunology student at the university and I am from India.
Thanks so much for being here. And Maurice.
Hi everyone, I'm Maurice. I'm one of the student support officers here at the university, and I work within the MVLS graduate school, so I support postgraduate students.
Amazing. Carl?
Hi everyone, my name's Carl. I'm the president of the Glasgow University Sports Association, which is the student sports association on campus.
Thanks so much. And Alice, do you want to see if we're able to get you back in here?
Thanks, Michaela. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. There's nothing worse than just talking and no one can actually hear what you're saying. But thank you, Michaela. You've done a brilliant job of introducing our panel for today. Obviously, this is just our live Q&A for new undergraduate and postgraduate students coming this September. And just to mention, we are live for the next hour. So if you do have any kind of questions, you can pop them in the chat. But yes, my name is Alice and I'm here today from External Relations. So I'll be hosting this session. So we'll get into the Q&A now. So just before we really get started, I just wanted to flag a couple of things for those of you watching today, which should hopefully be really useful. So firstly, I'd encourage everyone watching to check out our new students' web pages, which includes lots and lots of useful information and links. This also includes a checklist of the things that you will need to think about before you get to Glasgow. Those are things such as registering with your GP and registering and enrolling for classes as well. So please make sure that you have access for any kind of medical assistance that you might need throughout your time at Glasgow. So that's why it's really important to register with your GP when you're here. Secondly, I just wanted to quickly share some deadline dates for those of you tuning in with outstanding documentation, maybe on your application. So for our undergraduates coming from Scotland, England, Wales or Northern Ireland, the last date that we can accept documentation to progress your application to unconditional firm is Wednesday, the 3rd of September. So a couple of weeks away, but that's a really important date to bear in mind. It's the 3rd of September. For those of you who are international or EU undergraduates, the last date that we can accept documentation to progress your application to unconditional firm and then issue your CAS is Wednesday, the 3rd of September as well. Please note there is a slightly different date if you are studying an engineering programme. So the date for engineers is Wednesday, the 27th of August. Now, quickly, just to flag some dates for our postgraduate students on the call today. For those coming from Scotland, England, Wales or Northern Ireland, the last date that we can accept documentation to progress your application to unconditional firm is Wednesday, the 3rd of September. And for those of you who are international or EU postgraduates, the last date that we can accept documentation to progress that application to the unconditional firm and to then issue your CAS number is Wednesday, the 3rd of September as well. So for any kind of international or EU applicants that provide documentation after these deadlines, we will make decisions on whether we can issue CAS on an individual basis, and it will be in line with how likely we think you are able to meet our latest arrival dates as well. So those are really important dates for everyone to remember at this point in the process. So we're going to move on to some questions for the panel, and we're going to start with Duncan from the SRC. Duncan, can you tell us a bit about the SRC and the other student bodies and what new students can expect from Welcome Week this year?
I'd be happy to. So at Glasgow, we're actually quite fortunate in that we actually have 4 student unions as opposed to just one. My student union is the Student Representative Council, also known as the SRC, and you'll get to know us over the welcome period and also throughout your studies. The other three student unions are the Queen Margaret Union, the Glasgow University Union, and of course GUSA, the Glasgow University Sports Association, which Carl will go into more detail later. The SRC is the organisation on campus that is in charge of student representation. We have a council made up of 50 student members elected from the student population, and we're here to represent your voice at all levels of the university structure. We also have our advice centre, which is independent from the university. We can offer advice on things like housing, your studies, support to study, all things like that. We're here to offer you advice on things like that. We also support our clubs and societies, which I'll talk a little bit more later. We have over 300 clubs and societies that we give support to through our affiliation process. But what can new students expect from Welcome Week? Well, we have a lot of events that are going on, including but not limited to tours around the West End and campus, the Welcome Fair, which is over 2 days. We have lots of clubs and societies that come in and try and recruit you to their cause. We also have the Welcome Address, which is great just to get introduced to all the different student bodies. We have a movie screening in the quad. I'm not going to give away which movie it is yet. You'll just have to wait to find out. And we also have postgraduate events that are specifically catered to postgraduate students who are joining us for the first time. There are also night events organised by QMU and GUU, but you'll have to go to their website to find out what those are. The link is on the SRC website. It's very easy to get to. And yeah.
Thanks so much, Duncan. It sounds like there's so much for students to get involved with, especially in that Welcome Week. And I look forward to hearing what the movie turns out to be. You're leaving us on a bit of an edge to find out what that might be. So that'll be good for new students to go along to. So Carl, I'm going to come to you for the next question. So as president of GUSA, the Glasgow University Sports Association, can you tell us a little bit more about how new students can get involved in sports clubs? Will there be GUSA events taking place during Welcome Week, for example?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much, Alice. So as Duncan said, there are 4 student unions at Glasgow, one of which is us, the Glasgow University Sports Association. So the easiest way that you could get involved in sports through Freshers Week is on Sunday the 14th and Monday the 15th of September, when we'll be holding our sports fair up at the main building in the university. So all 52 of our sports clubs have a stall there. They'll be manned throughout the day. You can come up, speak to people from the club committees and ask them anything, whether that's about training, about competing, about events, about socials, about anything at all. All of our clubs during Freshers Week also run taster sessions, so that's where you can go along to as many clubs as you like, try out as many sessions as you like, and it's all for free throughout Freshers Week. Also, we have the Stevenson building on campus, which is the home of sport on the Gilmore Hill campus. The gates for the Stevenson building are open throughout Welcome Week and during semester 1, so new students can come along and have a tour around. They can try out anything they like in the building, and there's no financial obligation to buy a membership there. Additionally, during Freshers Week, as Duncan's already mentioned, there's some events throughout the week in the GUU and the QMU. On the Wednesday night, which is Wednesday the 17th, we host our fight night in the GUU. So that's where 3 of our martial arts clubs come along and they basically showcase their skills, and it's always a really, really popular sellout event. So lots and lots and lots to be up to in relation to sport throughout Freshers Week.
Thanks, Carl. Again, it just sounds like there's so much for students to get involved with when they're getting started to find out more about sports here at the University of Glasgow. So thank you very much for that. So moving on to the next question. At Glasgow, we are really proud to have international students joining us from all over the world. Nishka, you joined us as an international student from India. So I was wondering if you could tell us what it's like to move to Scotland and settle here.
Yeah, of course. So It was my first time abroad, so quite a daunting experience. But personally, for me, it was quite a smooth transition. I arrived at the airport and I made sure to have all my documents, my visa related documents, my acceptance letter, scholarship letter, all of that in a single folder. Even though I didn't need all these documents at the immigration department, but I just think it's handy to have it all in one folder. And then I got an Uber to my accommodation, but I didn't know that there are buses running 24/7 from the airport. So that might be something to note if you want to save some money on um, an Uber or a taxi. And then I got to my accommodation, settled in, and went to the campus, just explored the campus, the different buildings, the Hogwarts vibe. And then I collected my BRP, which is a biometric residence permit. I got it from the Fraser Building. I think it's now been changed to an e-visa, but you should get an email regarding all the detailed steps to collect it, where to collect it from, and it's a very straightforward process. Other than that, my Freshers Week was all about the welcome fair and all the events that were going on, and I would highly, highly recommend every single student to attend the Freshers Fair because it's such an amazing way to meet so many new people and make some really good friends during your first week, especially if you're an international student like me who didn't know anyone in the country. I think it's a great way to meet people. And of course, it took me a while to get used to the Scottish weather and the Glaswegian accent. But before I knew it, Glasgow was my second home. And you don't really need to worry much about the clothing. Just make sure you bring a jacket, but you can find everything in the stores here. You can find weather appropriate clothing. Make sure you layer your clothes. And in terms of food as well, there are many grocery stores and for example, many Indian grocery stores or Asian grocery stores, no matter where you are from, you shouldn't worry about that because Glasgow is a multicultural city. And yeah, I'd say just my experience was fairly good, and it was a quite a smooth transition.
Thank you so much, Nishka. It sounds like you did a lot, obviously, when you arrived. And I think those are really kind of helpful tips that you have for international students. It can feel quite daunting moving abroad for the first time or going abroad for the first time. So I think having like everything kind of in that folder that you mentioned just makes it a little less stress free as well when you're coming. So those are really fantastic pointers for our international students who are joining us today. Michaela, I'm going to come to you for the next question. I'm not going to ask you to host again yet. I'll maybe come back to you at another point. But as one of our community support officers, would you be able to tell us a little bit more about the social and engagement opportunities for the new students at Glasgow?
Yeah, thanks so much, Alice. I mean, we've already heard today from some of the student organizations that are here that do amazing work and host so many of the exciting opportunities that you can get involved with. The SRC and GUSA both have fantastic student groups. And really, the biggest thing that we recommend for being involved in the community on campus is just trying something out. Go along, see some new people, see a new activity, give something a taste, and see if it's where you want to end up spending some of your time while you're here on campus. Really, the first week that you're here is just a great opportunity to try different things and get involved. And as you're here longer, you'll have more opportunities to maybe branch out, find something else, and taste something different on campus. The SRC and GUSA, as they've said today, have a ton of great groups and activities that'll be happening during that welcome week. The GU and QMU also have a great program of weekly activities, things like open mic nights, pub quizzes, things that you can drop into the building and just meet some people while you're there. The student-led activities that happen on our campus are one of the best things that you can find. And you can always find out more about the activities that are being held by different student groups in, say, the SRC app or on any of the student organizations' websites, Instagram pages. Check them out, find something that interests you, and get involved. There's also a ton of opportunities to do things that are connected to different university organizations. So support services as well as academic departments hold a ton of events on campus. University of Glasgow has some of the best researchers in the world, and they're really excited to talk about their subjects. So you might want to clock into something that is maybe a little bit academic in focus, something that's tied to the Hunterian, getting to explore the museum that's on campus, or really just finding out more about what different parts of the university are doing. So you can can find opportunities and events like that in the UofG Life app. So I really recommend, before you come to campus, checking out these 2 different spaces where you can see what's happening, find somewhere to go along to, and just go along and meet some new people once you get to campus.
Thanks so much, Michaela. And I think, yeah, having the app, like everyone has their phones on them now. So having that app to see what's going on is a really good way to kind of keep up to date, because there'll be so much going on, and it's kind of easier to kind of make your way through maybe the app and see that you're not missing anything that you might want to go to. So Duncan, I know you kind of mentioned the clubs and societies earlier, so I'm going to come back to you now. So lots of students will want to know about how they can get involved with these clubs and societies that we have here at Glasgow. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course, yeah. Thank you, Alice. So, as I said earlier, the SRC has over 300 clubs and societies that are affiliated with us, and these can cover a range of subjects from more conventional to perhaps more niche interests. We've got things like the Taylor Swift Society, Capoeira Society, and even the Cheese Society. So there truly is absolutely something for everyone, and they're great ways to get involved with student life. They're also a great way to make friends with people in common. I remember in first year, I was quite worried about coming to campus as a commuting student and being able to make friends. And getting involved with societies is a great way to kind of get over that initial barrier and truly get into the swing of campus life. Getting involved with clubs and societies is super easy. During Freshers Week, these clubs and societies will have a presence at the welcome fair. They'll be really glad to chat to someone who's interested in what they're interested in. And they'll also have a bunch of events on during Freshers Week to kind of welcome new members into their groups. So I definitely recommend that you get involved with that. And of course, as Michaela said, a great way to kind of keep up to date with what these clubs and societies are doing during Welcome Week is through the SRC app. All the clubs and societies news should be on there, and all their events should be listed there. So it's a great way to check what's going on and how you can get involved.
Thanks so much, Duncan. Yeah, lots to consider, lots of societies in terms of just what you might be interested in. I know that there's like a horror society as well. There's just so many that I can't keep up with them all now. So thanks so much for that information on our clubs and societies. Nishka, I'm going to come to you for the next question. So I think this is really useful for the students tuning in today, as you're a current student here at the University of Glasgow. Can you tell us a little bit more about the social side of student life at Glasgow and the type of activities that students can get involved in?
Yeah, of course. So like Duncan said already, there are over 300 clubs and societies. So even on campus, there are so many ways to get involved in kind of social activities. And there are many types of societies, for example, academic and recreational. I am the president of the Infection and Immunity Society, and I'm studying immunology. So that kind of relates really well with my degree. I'm also the life sciences convener for Women in STEM. In first year, I was a part of the Glasgow Charity Fashion Show, which is not related to academics at all, but again, something really unique and something really different. So there's something for everyone. You can also start a society of your own. So I think that's one of the major social aspects of studying at the University of Glasgow. Other than that, I would say the city in itself is very vibrant and there's always something going on. And you can also get involved in volunteering. So the SRC also kind of recognizes your volunteering efforts, and there are different types of awards for a certain number of volunteering hours. For example, the Bronze Award, the Silver Award, the Gold Award, even the Diamond Award. And I think it's just a great way to build skills while doing something that you enjoy. And again, if you want to get involved in internships, working for third sector organizations, the Student Opportunities Hub also has a lot of those things. And again, the nightlife at Glasgow is extremely vibrant. There are so many pubs and clubs. Even on campus, we've got the Hive, which I would say probably one of the most well-attended clubs. And yeah, there are so many things to do, and especially during Freshers Week, which is why I cannot emphasize enough that please make sure you attend the Freshers Fair and meet new people and just make the most of your first week before your lectures begin.
Thank you so much, Nishka. I think like from your own experience, it sounds like the kind of balance that you have between kind of the clubs and societies you're maybe part of towards more of your degree, but also just the extra ones that you can get involved with on the side. So it's nice that you can kind of balance those things out. So that's really fantastic to hear. So Carl, I'm going to come back to you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the sports and gym facilities that are available at our university?
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. So there's two main University of Glasgow owned facilities, which I'll come on to in a second. But I'm aware there's also some students watching who might be going to the Dumfries campus, and we do get quite a few questions about that. So the facilities in Dumfries are offered in partnership with Dumfries and Galloway College and the University of the West of Scotland. But if you Google Dumfries campus sports facilities, all the information's on there. In terms of University of Glasgow owned facilities that we have here, I'll talk firstly about the Stevenson building, which is the sort of home of sport and fitness on the main University of Glasgow campus. So you can find the Stevenson building on Oakfield Avenue, which is about a 2-minute walk from the main building. And it really has everything you could ever imagine that you would need out of a sports facility. It's got Pulse, which is a humongous cardio suite, and it's got Power Play, which is a humongous strength and conditioning suite as well. I think this is still the case, but a couple of years ago, we were the biggest sort of strength and conditioning suite at any university in Scotland. So I think we still hold that record, but I'm not 100% sure. Also in the Stevenson building, we've got a massive sports hall, we've got a massive activity hall. Our sports hall has a fan zone as well, so we host lots of our sports matches in there, and people can come and watch that. We've also got squash courts, we've got an indoor cycling studio where we hold some of our classes, and then we've got a swimming pool as well as a steam room and a sauna, which I think are the two most popular attractions in the Stevenson building. Out with the sort of main Gilmore Hill campus, we've got Garstube Sports Complex, which is up at the Garstube campus, obviously. That's where all of our outdoor sports take place. We've got football pitches, rugby pitches, hockey pitches, tennis courts up there, as well as a much smaller indoor gym. Even if you don't end up joining sport when you come to university, which I obviously would recommend you do, Garstube is a really good place just to go for a walk as well. The grounds are huge and they're really lovely. So that's sort of a very brief overview of all the facilities that we have on campus.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Carl. And yeah, I can attest that the Garstube campus is so beautiful, even if you want to take kind of a walk around. And it's not too far from kind of our main campus. It's just a kind of 15, 20 minutes by public transport. So very easy for everyone to access, whether you want to do sports, but also there's the gym on campus as well. So Maurice, I'm not letting you away without a question. So we're going to pass over to you now, as you're part of the team that provides practical and emotional support to students. So a really important part for students throughout their time at university. So would you be able to tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, of course. So I'm part of the student support officer team, and we're all based across the different colleges and schools within the university. In a nutshell, basically, you can think of us as your go-to guides to university life that support you when you have questions or issues or might just not be really sure about who to turn to. So we obviously hope that you have a great time at university while you're studying with us, and we hope that not too many issues will come up, but if anything comes up, then we're there to give you some information, advice, and very importantly, to signpost you to support services. So some of the issues or questions you might be having, might approach us with, might be smaller ones, you might be wondering where you can pick up your student ID card, or who your administrator is, or how to get in touch with your advisor of studies. But then there are also obviously the bigger questions, the more complex issues, and we're more than happy to meet with you in a private and non-judgmental space, and first of all to just listen, and to kind of see what support might be available to you and what might be fitting for your situation. So some of the common issues that students come to us with, and that you can come to us with, would be questions in relation to applying for financial support, but also accessing mental health support through the university, maybe as well dealing with the transition to university or as well to postgraduate study. And then also one important part is helping you understand the university policies and how they relate to you. So you might, for example, have caring responsibilities, or be a student parent. So all these kind of things we can help you with. And depending on the support you could benefit from, we might signpost you to services within the university. So that could be, for example, the counseling service or the disability service, the chaplaincy as well, and many, many more services. But we might also signpost you to services outside the university. So the NHS, local councils, charities as well. Yeah, and I think to say, please talk to us, and no matter how big or small an issue is, get in touch, and we're more than happy to help.
Thank you so much, Maurice. I think it's really important to know that, you know, you're there, like for if someone needs help during their time. It is daunting coming to a new place and everyone's in the same boat and things might arise. So it's just nice to know that you've got a supportive team around you at the University of Glasgow if you need them as well. So just in addition to the areas represented today, we also provide a variety of support across the university, such as our international student support team, which provide a variety of events to help you settle in, as well as support with visa advice throughout the year as well. So it's a really good one for international students. We also have our disability service and counselling team, as well as our student learning development and careers service. So in the Fraser building on campus, when you're here, you'll notice it. It's kind of a green and blue building on our campus. You'll find the Student Services Inquiry team, who can help with a range of inquiries on arrival, as well as registrations and an enrollment support team as well, as I know a lot of students might be going through that process at the moment. We also have a fully trained peer wellbeing support team who are always around to listen and provide support as well. So we completely understand here at the university that it can be a really daunting process, like I mentioned earlier, when you're starting in a new place, and that you may have some wobbles. But please be reassured that we do have those support systems in place when you need us. And as Maurice said earlier, we're always happy to help. So please just reach out if you need to, if the time arises. So we're just going to follow on with our next question now. So Nishka, I'm going to come back to you. So for many of our new students, this will be their first time in Glasgow, like it was for you. So can you tell us a little bit more about the city of Glasgow? Is there lots for students to see and do in the wider city as well as at the university?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, like I said, the university has so many attractions. The university is a tourist attraction, which sometimes I'm just walking through the cloisters and I forget that, oh, I'm studying at a university that is a tourist attraction and there are so many tourists, which is really fascinating because sometimes I just take it for granted. But besides that, there is always something going on in the city. For example, very recently, the Spider-Man filming was happening in the city center, and it was just crazy, just randomly running into Tom Holland. But always something going on, and there are many free things to do as well. So if you're a student on a student budget, you can visit so many art galleries and museums. We have the Hunterian Museum and the Hunterian Art Gallery on campus, and very close to campus, we've got the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery as well, which is also free to enter. And on Byres Road, there are many restaurants, different cuisines, and different types of stores that you can visit, and just again nightlife, different pubs and clubs, and in the city center as well. You can sign up for events on Eventbrite, which is a really good place to look for events. If you go on it, you'll see there's so much going on in the city centre, in the West End, everywhere in Glasgow, and a lot of free events as well. So just a good place to keep an eye out would be Eventbrite, and yeah, it's very welcoming, and you will never feel not at home. I'm sure, like Glasgow became a second home for me, I'm sure, and I hope it does for you as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Nishka. And it's so nice to hear that you're referring to Glasgow as your second home. So that's a really nice kind of point to kind of end that part on. I can't promise that everyone will meet Tom Holland, but Glasgow is a filming location a lot of the time, so you might meet someone else famous when you're here in Glasgow as well. So thank you so much, Nishka. So we're kind of coming to a finish, towards the finish. But before we do, I want to go around the panel with some advice for new students. So if everyone could give a little bit of advice that they have for new students. And Duncan, I'm going to start with you. Any top tips for those students joining us?
Well, I'm in my 6th year at Glasgow Uni, so I'm trying to cast my mind back to what I would say to first year me. I think in the interest of simplicity, I'll just say go for it. Just go for it. I think the first 2 weeks can feel a bit of a whirlwind. There's a lot to do, there's a lot to try. I would say take that time to explore your interests, try something new, step out your comfort zone. Those new interests, be the academic, a sport, or our clubs in society, just go for it. It's the best thing I can tell you.
That's perfect. Thank you, Duncan. I think, yeah, that's kind of throwing yourself into as many things as you can is always a good way to know what you enjoy. Michaela, I'm going to come to you for your top tips for new students.
Yeah, thanks. I think kind of similar in terms of just going out there and getting involved. The thing that I would say is don't be afraid to be the person who brings other people along with you. So don't be afraid to start the group chat, to invite somebody to something that you've seen during Welcome Week that you want to go do, tell someone to come along to try out a new sport. Bring people with you, and you never know, you might end up just bringing somebody who's a part of your life in the long term. And also for postgraduate students, I just want to say that everything that's happening during these induction weeks are also for you. Please, please, please go along, experience university life, see the wonderful work that the students here at the university are doing, and make sure that you get involved, because that year that you have here is really special, and there's nothing better that you can do than just jumping straight in.
Thank you so much, Michaela. I love that, jumping straight in. It's like I've used the word daunting too many times, but it can be, daunting if you're waiting for someone to start a group chat. But you can do that as well, and everyone will be thankful that you've started that. And it's a great way to meet new people when you're here. Nishka, I'm going to come to you for your top tips for new students.
Definitely. So, especially if you are an international student, I would just recommend as soon as you come in, just make sure to explore the area a bit and to make sure that you have your e-visa sorted. Again, you'll get an email about the detailed instructions. It's very straightforward. Don't worry too much about it. And register with a GP just in case you're ill suddenly. You will have a registered GP that you can contact. Other than that, again, like everyone said, make the most of Freshers Week. Make sure that you are just go for it. Like Duncan said, just go for it. It's a great way to meet new people, make new friends. You might even meet your best friend at Freshers Fair. For undergrads and postgraduates both, there are events that are catered to every single type of audience. And other than that, just don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid to reach out to people, because it can be a bit terrifying when you don't know anyone, but that's how you're going to make friends. And I promise everyone's in the same boat, so don't worry too much about it.
Thanks, Nishka. And I think that's an important one, the kind of e-visa and the kind of side of getting prepared before you come. And remember, there is the International Student Support Team. If there are any kind of issues or worries that you have around that, you can reach out to them as well. So Maurice, I'm going to come to you for your top tips.
Yes. So I think I can only first of all echo what everyone else has already been saying as well. Like, put yourself out there. As Michaela said, be the person that starts the group chat, and just remember that everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's probably a little bit scared, a little bit anxious, but you never know who you're gonna meet, and also just you might find out, you might discover a new interest or make a friend for life. I think that's great. I think also just remember to really explore Glasgow as well. Obviously, there is focus on your studies, and that's important, but also take the time to just explore Glasgow. If you can, explore some more of Scotland. Have wonderful nature and wildlife here, so if you can, please do take the opportunity. And also remember to, if you don't have one, bring a rain jacket, because I think you'll definitely need it.
Thanks, Maurice. We always have to mention a rain jacket at some point. It is a top tip if you are coming to Glasgow. Carl, last but not least, I'm coming to you for your top tips for new students.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't really want to repeat what everybody else said, but I feel like I'm going to. Just don't be nervous. I came over here from Belfast and I felt like I was moving like across the world, when in reality it's a 30-minute flight. But no matter where you're coming from, it's natural to be nervous. Dive into everything that's available during Freshers Week, and there's so much good stuff that's been talked about on this call. So just take every chance that comes at you. And as we've already said, everything that we've talked about is open to absolutely everyone. It's such a good way to meet people, and it's such a good way to meet your friends. Just take care of yourself during Freshers Week as well. And if there's one bit of practical advice that I can offer, it would be to remember to bring an extension cord, because if you don't, it's a bit of a nightmare. But as we already said, Glasgow is an incredible city, and I wish I could go back to 5 years ago and move here and experience it all again for the first time. So you will love it, no doubt.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Carl. I think the extension cords, that kind of practical advice as well, is always good for students, because it's things like that you don't think of. And then when you're trying to charge your laptop to go out to a lecture, but also charge your phone and then maybe do your hair, it all gets a bit too much. So that's a really good one for them to have on arrival as well. So after those top tips, I think that brings us to the end of today's Q&A, unfortunately. But before we say goodbye, I would just like to highlight one final resource, which is our offer holders community here at the University of Glasgow. So by joining our community, you'll be able to meet other new students from your programme of study, accommodation, home country, or just those who may have similar interests to you. So I think we've all touched on about kind of making friends. You can start making friends before you even arrive when you join our community as well. So some of our students who joined last year met their best friends on the platform. So I really recommend that you get involved and join that platform today. All of our offer holders should automatically receive an invite to join the community. But don't worry, if you didn't receive this invite, you can just drop us an email at the email address. So that is unibuddy@glasgow.ac.uk, and we'll ensure to get you added to the invite list so you can join the community. So with that, I just need to say thank you to our panel. Really brilliant answers. I've learned a lot myself. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today from wherever you might be in the world. We really do hope that you found this a really useful session, and we really look forward to welcoming you to campus very soon. So bye for now.